In this movie, I want to take a look at how you can control the monitoring regarding the visibility or audibility of your tracks, as well as how to lock your tracks. Let's take a look. All right, so I actually have my finished sequence here, and we obviously haven't gotten to the point of putting all the finishing touches on ours, but I did want to show you one with all the bells and whistles for this movie so that we can really explore some important aspects of track monitoring and locking. All right, so let's take a look here. I'm going to just park right here. I want to take a look at V1. That's where my background is. That's this image here. On V2, I have my interview shot of Kelly, so that's this. And then on V4, I have my title. If I go to another spot in the timeline, for example here, you can see that on V3, I have my B-roll. I'm going to come back to here. Now, if I'd like to turn off any of these elements, I can. I can just come over to this little eyeball here and toggle it. And I can turn off my background. I can turn off Kelly. I can turn off her title. You can come over to a spot with B-roll and turn off my B-roll. And just so you know, when you do this, you're not only altering this for display, but also for output. So if I wanted to output a version of the show without a particular track, I could. Now, not very often would I want to eliminate all of my B-roll, so I'll turn that back on. But there's a very good reason for wanting to output a version without my lower thirds, for example. So if I turn off my V4 track, then when I output this, then none of my titles are going to show up. Now this is great if my titles were just quick and dirty placeholders and I now want to send it out to my professional graphic artist to design my titles for me. I'll go ahead and turn that back on for now. Now the same goes for my audio. Instead of a little I have my little M and S buttons, and that stands for mute and solo. So I can solo as many tracks as I want, and I can mute as many tracks as I want. So again, if I wanted to turn off my music and export a version without music so that my composer can work with it, I can easily just mute my track and then export it. I'll turn that back on for now. Now what if, however, I just need to turn off certain clips instead of an entire track? Well, I can easily do that too. All you need to do is just head down to the clips that you want to disable. I'm going to go ahead and disable my archival footage because let's say I don't have the rights for this and I need to go seek some other footage. I just select the clips that I'd like to disable. So I'll just lasso all of these, and then you right-click, and then come up to Enable, and then uncheck it. So you can see that they're still there in the timeline, but I don't see them. I'll go ahead and re-enable those. And finally, another technique that we touched on in the last movie is the ability to lock tracks. And you do that simply by clicking on this little lock icon. So I'll go ahead and just lock my A1 track. And when I do that, you can see that the lock closes here. And I have little cross-hatching in my timeline. Now this means that I can't make any changes to it. And this is very useful if I want to prevent myself from accidentally moving or deleting or inserting or overwriting any of my clips. I'm literally not able to change anything on my locked track. So if I turn it back on, I can show you that I can select, my various clips here. But the moment that I lock it, watch what happens to my audio. The audio drops out and the locked track can no longer participate in my edit. So if I just moved this, you can see that the video moves, but the audio stays right where it's at. I'll undo that. So as you can see, changing your track's visibility, audibility, and lockability are really useful techniques during the editing process.